It is far too often I have seen many that believe because someone is not in their life anymore, if it is because they stopped talking to them or because they have passed on, that they believe what they hold in their heart towards this person will not affect them in their current life, the future, or in their next life. A week before Mother's Day, I had a client, a mother who laid on my table and told me that she had lost both of her sons. One of her sons came through from the other side, and he had a message for her. Can you imagine being able to walk up to your mom sitting in a rocking chair and being able to crawl up into her lap while she holds you and rocks you? The peace that one would feel. I imagine the last time any of us felt completely safe and at ultimate peace is while we were in the womb. We all need the love of our mother, and there are those that receive that, some far more than others. All of us, we have all received the pain of the mother. What happens to pain and anything else that is suppressed and denied and pushed down for later is it strengthens. It only gets stronger and it leaks out and shows up in ways that we least expect. It shows up in relationships and experiences and in people. And because it has been so suppressed, or because we are not aware of its existence, is when it shows up, we do not recognize it. The bear represents awakening of what has been hidden in the dark, what is unconscious, just as the mother does. And because of this, people fear this. This is what has been hidden in the dark cave, what has been denied in all of us. But in this darkness is also where you find your power. The bear teaches us to turn our pain into power. How many of our mothers were in their power? How many of our grandparents, our grandmothers were in their power? What is power? Power is in freedom, financial freedom, freedom to express ourselves, freedom to speak how we want, speak when we want, freedom to go places, to go where we want, to touch land that is not owned by another. Generation after generation after generation, there has been pain passed down over and over and over again. How can we turn something into power that we are not aware of and why we are holding it? This is a trigger warning, what I'm going to say right now. There are many cultures across the globe in our history. This is Europe, this is in America, this is the Native Americans, this is in Africa, this is Mesoamerica. There are many cultures and many different skin types and people that practice child sacrifice, willingly and unwillingly. These are our ancestors, and this is not far behind us. It is absolutely still taking place today. In addition to that, our mothers, our grandparents, our grandmothers on the mother side, I should say, did not have rights. They did not have a voice. And our grandmother's egg was in our mother and within us women, the daughters. Besides the obvious patterns, these are physically passed down to us, the patterns that were imprinted. Regardless if you are man or woman, you were in that egg and you took on these imprints. This is suppression of the truth. The truth is in our heart. When we are not aware of this history repeats itself. And again, it shows up in ways we do not understand why. I had someone who had gotten essayed. Somebody broke into this person's house out of nowhere and did this to them. And what I was shown was that this is what has happened in their family's history, which we are all well aware that was very common back then. I would like to move to a softer note, but this is something that has been hidden, that many are not aware of, this pain. And what happens when we leave cycles and we are in pain, say we hold shame or resentment or fear. And cycles are also not only at the end of life, there are daily cycles, hourly cycles, yearly cycles, soul cycles. There are many cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles. If we leave a relationship and it's the end of the cycle for a relationship and we are holding pain and resentment in our heart, we will enter that next relationship at that same level of consciousness. And this is why history repeats itself. There are many that believe because they stopped talking to their mothers that this is no longer a pattern. Unless that pain has been acknowledged and understood why that pattern existed in the first place. What has been hidden in the shadows. Until the unconscious has been made conscious, it cannot be healed and transformed and transmuted. We cannot rise above or raise the bar on something that we are not aware of doing. We are all here to break these patterns. We have entered the age of the mother. She is here to make us aware of these, so these can be healed. When we close out our life cycle, so we are no longer feeling these things and we do not enter a new one with any of this guilt, shame, anything that we have been made to feel, or we grew up with, or were taught, or had in some way or another imprinted on us, or believed due to our own experiences that are not in truth. It is so we can break free from these, so we do not repeat these patterns and these cycles. It is to liberate us. The mother is liberation. The pain of losing a child, there is nothing that is more painful than losing a child. And this goes to say that this moves in with us into the next lifetime when what we do not resolve within. And that is really hard to let go. And you will find that people who have experienced extreme traumas and experiences are typically the first to forgive. They know it is too painful to carry and hold on to. And they know that it is a part of their purpose. It does not make it easier. It does not make it less painful. But when we can step back and see the truth about why we are carrying this pain, and to go within and self-reflect and, understand what we are learning from this, we can break these ties and these chains and release us from those chains that bind us to hell of pain, of resentment, of regret, of guilt, for some victimization, right? And so it is the same if these feelings are being harbored towards our parents and our mother, and the pain that we took on from our mother. There are those that have had excellent relationships with their mother, very beautiful, supportive, all of it to the nines and the tens, right? But for the most part, most people did not experience that. And again, this pain is passed down generationally. I work with a lot of women and a lot of mothers, and resentment is hardly uncommon. And believe me, a lot of people have a hard time forgiving people for things in this lifetime. For me, it's been past lifetimes, because it's even, was even more frustrating to me that it's still with me after previous experiences. How long can we carry this pain for? The mother is very common, and then there's a lot of resentment for those not receiving the support that they very much need and deserve from a masculine or fatherly figure. And this goes without saying, a lot of the times there is a masculine or fatherly figure present and in the home, but there's still a lot of resentment. And as soon as I mention this, the walls will start to crumble right away. The walls immediately start dissolving from the heart. And typically what I will hear in response to mentioning this resentment is, wow, I did not even realize I was holding on to this. And, sometimes they'll apologize, be like, I'm so sorry, all this is coming up. And there's no need to apologize. It's just this pain, this awareness of the pains. The light being shed on it can be painful, right? Coming into the truth. But it is so incredibly healing and freeing once it has been done. And many do not want to face their emotions. We are not able to consciously heal something we are not conscious of, that we are not aware of. When I see mothers on my table holding resentment for maybe their husbands, my message to them is, nobody is going to come and give you your power back. And what the mother wound does is self-sacrifice. It is constantly giving it away even to anger and resentment. Nobody is ever going to come hand us our power on a platter and say, here you go, you left this behind back there after that traumatic experience that you went through, or what it was where where we stopped believing in it and losing the will and everything that could possibly drain us of our power. And sometimes that is love. But we all need the love that we are willing to give others. And this is really something that I wish the mothers knew out there. Self-care and self-nourishment is highly, highly underrated. And what we do not take care of ourselves is what we are telling the world and the universe and our significant others, and most importantly, our children. When we are telling them that we are last, that is what they are going to see and believe. And not only that, the children take on our subconscious behaviors. What we think is hidden from them is exactly what they pick up on. And it is exactly what we picked up on, which is why so many of us carry so much pain, among many other traits. And pain shows up in different ways, but it is the subconscious that we pick up on most and that we relay to others. If we want our children to love themselves, we would need to show them what that means. Many of us grew up with parents that did not care what we thought or felt or had to say. And many parents did not teach us how to love ourselves. And that is because they also did not know how to love themselves. Our experience with the families that we were born into, this was no mistake. And everything that we experience is a part of our growth and our purpose here. The more time I have been on earth, the more I have seen how much the past, which was the present at the time, was foreshadowing the future. Many of us had our power taken away from us in childhood. What we said was not important. We were told to sit down and overlook things, don't discuss them, push it under the rug. What we say is not important. It is not valid. This is the wound of the mother. This is not being able to express ourselves, which is our God-given power. This is speaking generally. This is not for every family by any means. And there are a lot of beautiful, healthy families that do have support from their parents. It is not very common that anyone did not experience trauma. And when it comes to healing, the absolute first thing I go to in many cases, in many teachings, is to begin with forgiveness of the parents. You cannot know how much you are holding on to until you actually do it. The process of forgiveness. I have had women on my table that let out this monstrous, deep from the core and the womb scream it out. That does not always happen. Sometimes it is just tears, sometimes it's both. But we do not know how deep this is until we say, I want to be free. I want to release this. I do not want to hold on to this pain any longer. It is draining. The weight is too heavy. It is siphoning power. What we take with us is what is in our heart. We take nothing else. So those that are attached to a lot of material things, that is emotional baggage. I'm going to say that again. What we are attached to is emotional baggage. The day that I arrived at the home for my appointments, the first woman that sat on my table told me that she had lost 2 of her sons. And I knew right away that one of them, if not both, were likely to come through. And immediately, one of her sons came through. And I said, he is here with us right now. And he feels really, really bright. I feel like I can relate to him a lot, this energy. It is very, I don't know. I was like, is he maybe wild? Or it felt funny. And she said he had the absolute brightest, biggest, most beautiful smile, that he was such a bright kid, and yes, very rebellious. And I said, I can feel it. I feel like I can relate to him a lot. Like, we would be friends. I can see why he came through to me to deliver this message. And I said, what happened to his chest? And she said that he was shot in the chest. He had gotten involved with the wrong people, and what she said was that she had said that he was the one that she wouldn't almost be surprised if he did get into some kind of trouble, because he was so free. The second son who passed died of an overdose. And this one, she held a different kind of pain to this loss. And this is the attachment that I want to speak of, and the one that will keep us in hell because of our beliefs about these things. The second son was in pain from losing her brother, and she was in pain, and I could feel the pain and the attachment that was held on by the two. It was a completely different experience from the first son than the second son. This mother, this beautiful, strong, powerful, absolutely, she was just so true, okay? This mother did seek help for her son with the addiction, and she had sent him to rehab and did try other things. However, what she wishes and what she wished that she had done differently. I had mentioned being around bikes. She said that with the first son, she wished she would have gotten him involved in things like that. She's like, I love that. And, you know, his energy and mine, again, were that very free energy. So I felt like I could very much relate to her son. And, you know, she said that she wished she would have gotten him involved in things like that. But with the second son, she did seek help, and she did send him to rehabs. And, you know, I mentioned how I had been raised and, you know, my path of healing. And in working with others, and she said, what I wish I would have done differently is brought it home and brought it within, as opposed to pushing it outwards, right? Or onto other people in a sense. So we live in a society that is what we do, especially, or at least I can speak for this area of the world. We live in a society that in every aspect we are taught to put our power on absolutely anything else besides within. Again, I cannot speak for everyone, but this goes with, therapy, this goes with religion, this goes with, anything that is wrong is put blame on something external, or is, we're taught to seek guidance, help anywhere else than from our hearts and from God. And the truth is, when it is time for someone to go, no one can stop that. Nobody can change that. It goes without saying that this mother could not have prevented what happened with her sons. I am absolutely confident in knowing that this was a part of her path and would have happened regardless. And I believe that she knows that too. And what happens when we are aware, when we are willing to face these things, which a mother who loses a child is forced to, when we become aware of these things, and sometimes it's through pain, then we are forced to go within. I do not believe there is anything she could have done differently to prevent that, but the regret that we hold on to, and the same goes with resentment and all of the others. When we hold on to this keeps us chained to absolute hell. Attachments are chains to hell. Even the thought that she could have done anything differently will keep somebody in hell. That goes to say that the experiences we have in our life, the challenges, the betrayal, all of these are a part of our purpose here and the path of our heart. And what happens when we become aware of these things, we learn from them. Once we have became aware of what we did wrong, we all do things that's the entire point of being on earth. We all do things that we wish we would have done differently had we known better. How can we know better until we experience it, right? Or, the whole purpose, once we heal this, we are able to offer others our medicine. But what happens when we do not heal these things is we try to heal from a wounded place. We are all living from choices of our past. I am back to finish this video I began recording a while back, so we are going to get to the bear medicine. And what does the bear symbolize? The bear symbolizes the awakening of the unconscious, which is what we are currently experiencing on mass levels on our planet. What has been hidden is coming to life. It has always been considered, and in psychology courses I took many years ago, that 95% of our world is the subconscious, and the subconscious in the darkness is what is considered the mother. The subconscious in space, in the stars, and the water, just like Mother Earth. The stars and the ocean, as above, so below, they are a reflection of one another. The subconscious is the cosmic womb. This is our dreams. To master the womb, to heal the womb, is to heal the mother. To heal the subconscious is to heal God. We are all living and came from the cosmic womb, and the mother is a portal that brings us from the heavens onto earth. The mother is transmutation. This is what the mother represents. She brings us from the heavens and we develop in the body of the mother and are brought out in human form with skin and eyes and arms. The mother represents transformation and transmutation. And we, all men and women, are here to represent and heal the mother. To heal the mother is to heal God. We live on Mother Earth, and the mother has been beaten down and taken for granted, taken advantage of. All of her resources are continuously drained and utilized for selfish purposes. What many may not realize, and for those who have a father wound, when we were not supplied the things that we needed as children or as a mother, when we did not have that fatherly masculine support in physical form, the stability and financial stability and the emotional stability and support of a husband or father, this can cause us to feel like there's not going to be enough. And in return, we can become greedy. This is what a father wound does. We become selfish with giving, if it is material resources or our emotions. But what many cease to understand is when we support the mother and do not hold back and are unselfish, we are coming from a place of unconditional love like the mother and giving, is that there is always enough to go around. The love of a mother never ceases to exist. In order to heal the planet, to heal God, to heal the family unit, to heal each other, we must heal the mother and the father within. And this begins with healing the heart and the womb and what we are attached to. When we are attached to pain and trauma and experiences from the past, consider every person and every trauma and our emotions as an attachment and a cord, just like an umbilical cord. And what it is attached to, we are giving our energy to. We are feeding it life, just like you are the mother to that person, to that idea, to that experience, as long as there is a cord. When God takes something out of our life, if it is a person or material things, the more of an attachment that there is, the more it is going to hurt when it is taken away. But when you are full in God and fully provided for by our Heavenly Mother and Father within, then it is not going to hurt so much. The bear wants us to become aware of these cords and these attachments to these ideas and beliefs that something was supposed to be different, or someone was supposed to be different, or I could have done something differently than what I did. When you become aware of what has been hidden in the darkness, the cord begins to dissolve once you have either repented or forgiven yourself, the person, God. And then we wonder why we attract another person that leads to a painful situation or an experience. And that is because that cord is still there, draining that energy. And if you know about cycles, you know that you cannot enter a new cycle until the cords from the past one have been dissolved. How we exit a cycle is how we will enter a new one. It is that the same experience will come up. You will still hold the pain. It will just maybe be a different person or experience representing that cord, that baby that's been being fed in the darkness. The thing about holding on to these attachments to these wounds is you will try to heal yourself and try to heal others. You cannot heal anyone from a wounded place. And oftentimes we are subconsciously trying to give others the medicine and heal what we actually need healed. And the mother is the healer. When a man awakens and heals the mother within, he becomes the most powerful force. A man with a healed heart and a healed womb who has healed the mother wound then becomes a healer. There is nothing more powerful than a healed man, especially when united with a healed woman. This requires healing the heart and going into that darkness. Once you have healed the heart and the womb, once you have found your medicine, you will be called in some way or another at some time to offer your medicine to others. All medicine comes from the heart. We do not heal others by being in pain. We all know what it looks like when a mother has to mother while being in pain. The relationships that we attract, the painful ones, are actually a messenger. That person is a messenger of the pain that is being held on to. So where many will say, this person is horrible, this person did this person is that, that person is reflecting. This is moon energy. That person is reflecting something within you, just as children are reflecting what is within their parents, especially what is not conscious. In the case of the story of the mother that I had that day, I was used as the messenger to remind her to let go of the idea that she could have made any different decisions than what she did at the time then. To let go of the idea that she could have known better than what she knows now. To let go of the idea that anything was supposed to be different than what it was. And I am here to remind you of the same. And to heal you must also forgive your mother and forgive yourself. You must understand that there is nothing that she could have known then and done anything differently then when she didn't know how. And the same goes for you. Every wound that you have received from your parents, your role, the mother within you, your job is to transform and transmute and heal that wound, to turn it from a negative to a positive, to bring it from the darkness and turn it into the light. That is how you transmute. That is how you turn pain into power. And every person is a messenger in your life. Whether they were beautiful and loving or cruel and harsh, they are a messenger to show you how to do that. Those that hurt you prey on your weaknesses until you turn them into a strength. Your heart is a muscle and it is to be strengthened. What happens when you heal the mother within, you are able to take more control over this world, your dreams, your ability to make your dreams a reality. You are able to make the unconscious conscious. There are gifts that come with healing within, and then also with sharing that medicine with others. What is medicine for you is and will be medicine for someone. The difference in healing from a wounded place or a healed place. This mother who lost her 2 sons, in our discussions, said she knew that she would be in some way or another going in the direction of helping others heal, if it is towards addiction or some way or another. This hadn't yet fully been uncovered. She was still in a little bit of the process of healing. Now, if somebody, and this is what happens on the regular, who is not healed and is going out of their way to try to heal others, what this would look like would telling everyone else what needs to change, trying to control others, what they need to be doing different, what the world needs to be doing different, what your mom needed to do different, what every other person needed to do different. We cannot control or force others to heal, or the only way to heal is to heal within and then show others how it's done. And the people who want your medicine and your version of that medicine will find you. The mother, the feminine, attracts. So this is number 1, how you will attract what is meant for you. It will automatically magnetize to you. And 2, this is how you stop extending or overextending yourself to those who are not in need, or to those who will take you for granted or take advantage of you or drain your resources. To take back your power and to make your dreams a reality, you must only water the plants and the seeds that you want to grow. In the case of the mother that I was speaking of earlier, both sons came through to bring awareness that the umbilical cord that was being fed was one of sorrow and pain and regret, and that it was time to stop feeding those beliefs and those ideas. There are two more things I want to bring up before we get to the meditation. The first thing is, this morning when I opened a book on Buddhism, there is a story of a woman who lost her son. He passed, and she was distraught and pleading that there is a way for her son to be brought back to her. And of course, they could not do anything for her. And finally, a follower of Buddha advised her to go see Buddha. And so she carried her passed on child to Buddha. And Buddha looked upon her with sympathy and said, "To heal the child, I need some poppy seeds. Go and beg 4 or 5 poppy seeds from some home where death has never entered." And the woman went out. It says she saw a house where death had never entered, but in vain. At last, she was obliged to return to Buddha. In his quiet presence, her mind cleared and she understood the meaning of his words. So she took the body away, and then she returned to Buddha and became one of his disciples. What does it mean to become a disciple in a sense in a case like this? There is a debate going around whether a woman would choose a man or a bear. And this is the thing. The woman, the heart of a mother, and the heart of unconditional love, regardless of who holds it within. The woman, the mother, is the bear. The mother is the bear. The mother is to be feared. The heart of a lover, man or woman, that knows pain and knows loss is to be feared. Why? Because they have the power. All of the power. There is power in pain. And what you do with that pain is you turn that pain into power. You become the mother. You take the pain and move it through you and birth something out of it. Do you know the man, John Walsh? He made America's Most Wanted, I believe. I hope I have this story right, but this is something I saw recently. He lost his child that was 6 years old, that was kidnapped and whose life was taken. And what did he do? He made a show. He hosted a show to catch criminals and helped how many people? So when I say that the heart of a lover is to be feared, I am not saying feared by the good guys. I am talking about the bad guys. The heart of a mother bear or a father bear. The heart of unconditional love is what is to be feared. The bear resembles the unconscious becoming conscious. What about the people that are trying to keep things in the dark? That is why the mother and the bear, regardless of the father or mother bear, is to be feared. The bear represents the awakening, which means truths come out. And our responsibility as lovers, as mothers, we are on Mother Earth. Every single one of us. It is our responsibility to care for our mother. We have so much to gain from the mother, from all mothers. Our life, we owe it to every mother, to all mothers and the mother within, even if you do not have children. We all have the mother within. We all have the father within. And it is our responsibility to take out our claws. And those who have the heart of a mother or the heart of a bear do not need to be told that for any reason. This is just a reminder that any pain that you have endured, no one knows the pain than that of a mother, and most of this pain began from our mothers and our mother's mother and our mother's mother's mother, and so on. This has been going on for a long, long, long time. And like I said in the beginning of the video, do you know how many women and mothers were taken out in front of their family and burned and drowned, and children was taken back then? Do you think they ever healed from that? How do you heal from that? Things move into the next lifetime. Many of our mothers underestimated their power, and now it ends with us. We are going to go through a short meditation. If you need a few moments to prepare, wind down, get in a space where you can rest, even if for only a few moments. We are going to do 3 breaths at 4-4-6. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First, we are going to do a little forgiveness, and then we are going to go on a short journey. I want you to imagine yourself at an age that you may have felt a significant impact of a wound or harm. You may not have ever met your mother. When did something happen, if that is the case? That is a result of the loss of your mother or not knowing her. Imagine yourself at that age, and you are standing in front of your mother. Look at your mother in the eyes, and what do you see? And what do you feel? And where do you feel it? How do you feel? How she made you feel is what you need to forgive her for. And I'm going to add some more forgiveness. Some may not apply. I want you to look at her in the eyes and tell her, I forgive you. I forgive you for giving me so much of your pain. I forgive you for the weight that you put onto my shoulders and onto my heart. And I release it now. I forgive you for being critical and for making harmful comments. I forgive you for taking your problems out on me. I forgive you for not taking care of my needs and not showing me how to when I needed you. I forgive you for allowing others to hurt me when you could have stopped them. I forgive you for making others and other things more important than me. And I forgive you for not knowing better. I forgive you for not knowing your worth. I love you. And thank you. I want you to give your mother a hug and connect heart to heart. And a big bright pink spark ignites when you two hug. This is beauty. Now I want your spirit to step out and go on a little journey to the woods. Now you find yourself walking in these beautiful, lush woods. It smells so good, and your feet are barefoot. They are walking on the cool dirt, the ground. There's so much life in these woods and in every step you take. It is so green. You feel like you can breathe so good in these woods. They're so giving of light and air and oxygen, and you can feel the magic from the trees moving into your lungs with every breath, feeding you, nourishing you. You have been to these woods before, and there is a tree here, and you are guided right to it because this is your grandmother tree. And she has been waiting for you. She has a message for you. She is not only connected to your roots in Mother Earth, but she is also connected to the heavens. You find your grandmother tree and you sit down and you feel at home. You feel so comfortable. Grandmother tree, I have been waiting to talk to you for so long. What is it that you have to tell me? You're just resting on the ground up against her. You might hear her tell you something, you might feel something. Do you have any questions for her? Is there something missing? Nothing and no one leaves you, so if there is something missing that you feel is missing from your heart, I want you to ask her what it is. And if you do not get a direct answer, I want you to ask her to guide you. And to show you in the coming days. Is there a message that you want to send out to the universe, to someone? What is it that you have to say that you wish you could say? Anything. What is it that you have been needing to get off of your chest? I want you to stand up. Put your right hand on the tree and send that information to your grandmother tree. And she is going to send it up to the heavens. Just imagine the message and what you want to say. And your wishes, send them into the tree as they flow up the trunk, up to the branches. And you see this light leaving the leaves, going to the heavens, and your message is being carried there. And it is going to go exactly where it is meant to. You can thank your grandmother tree. Give her a hug, maybe. And now you're going to keep walking down your path. And you wind up to a river. This river has salt, this salt water. This is a very cleansing, purifying, healing water. And I want you to step into the water and lay down in the water. And you feel the salt water running over your head, through your hair, over your eyes, all over your scalp, your ears, your neck, your throat, over your shoulders, your chest, your heart, washing away any debris, any energy that is ready to be let go. Anything hanging on, let it wash away over your heart, your chest, down your arms, over both of your hands, through your fingertips, over your abdomen, down your stomach, your back, your lower back, your reproductive organs. The salt water is washing away all the connections, all the attachments. It's time to let them go. The salt water wash over your backside, your hips, your legs, your thighs, your knees, your calves, the top of your feet, the bottom of your feet, and down your toes. It is so crisp and clean. It feels so good. You feel so clear now. And a big rush of the water comes through and starts moving you down the river. You flow with the river, and you wind up to a grass area. It is getting dark now. The stars are out, and you see a cave in front of you. You look up at the stars, and you realize, are those my ancestors? Have they been guiding me this entire time? Indeed they have. They guided you here. You look up at the stars twinkling and say thank you. And you enter the cave. It is very dark. It is really warm with a nice ambiance. It has a flame, an eternal flame that never goes out. It's very warm in the cave. And as you walk in and go farther back, you see your mother bear. She's sitting there, big and furry and warm. She's been waiting for you. You go and lay directly in her lap and wrap your arms around her and rest your head, and she holds you. She holds you so tight. Just rocking with you in her arms. She says, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for coming today. You hold her. You turn around and face the front. You're still sitting in her lap, but now your back is to her chest. And over comes Daddy Bear. Your father bear comes over and wraps his arms around both of you. He says, you are safe. I love you. Thank you for being with us today. Your parents are so proud of you. Daddy Bear says, I'm proud of you. Mama Bear says, I'm proud of you. What was the age that you had the most harm? Suddenly you transition to that age. And they squeeze you even tighter. I am here for you. I love you. Thank you. And now it is time to head back to the home in your heart. When you leave the cave, you are leaving in the spirit of the age in which you were younger. You step out of the cave and you look back up at the stars. The stars are going to guide you back into your next steps and after you go home. You hop into the river, it flows you upstream right back to where you entered. You follow the path back. You pass your grandmother tree. And now your spirit has entered back into your body. And you feel your spirit and your spirit body enter your body, enter at your feet, your legs, your hips, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders, your neck, your head, fully refreshed. Now the healed version of you has fully integrated with your body. The healed version of you has now returned home. Remember that after you have done any type of healing and clearing and meditation, even fasting, any type of letting go, you want to make sure to refill your spirit with things that nourish your spirit and your heart, things that make you truly feel good, not just temporarily. Things like practicing art or dance or what it is that uplifts you, especially that you did not get when you were a child. I can assure you from my experience, and especially with the spirit world and the other side, is that once someone has crossed over a family member, a child, a parent, and in this case we're talking parents and mothers, right? They understand then the impact that they had and the role that they played, and that they are not, that was meant to be had that way. They would not have made those same decisions on the other side, but they understand that was the role that they were meant to play and that it served a purpose. Every person's role in our life serves a purpose, and it does not necessarily end when it's on the other side. You still have access. It is important to remember that it is not an attachment. What that access is not something that is harmful, that it is not a cord that you are feeding of pain or resentment. All of the cords that we feed in life is what is going to grow. So if it is somebody that did something harmful, you want to forgive them. If it is something that you didn't get to do or you wish you would have done differently, that you forgive yourself. If it is something you wish someone else did differently, that you are not holding on to the idea that anything was meant to be different than it was.